She was found near the A12 highway in the Netherlands, wrapped in a green bedspread. Her body bore signs of violence. No one knew her name. No missing persons report matched. No family ever came forward. That was 1990. Today, she's still listed as unidentified woman number 22. But she's not alone. Dozens of women across Europe, like the woman of the Maas, found in Belgium, or the charred remains near Hamburg, remain nameless to this day. Now, Interpol is asking a chilling question. Who were these women, and why did they disappear? This is the story of Operation Identify Me, and the search for Europe's forgotten victims. If you're moved by this story and want to stay updated on the ongoing search for justice, be sure to subscribe to our channel, hit the like button to support the investigation, and comment below if you have any insights, theories, or thoughts. Together, we can help bring these women's identities to light. In 1976, the body of a woman was discovered in the Netherlands. Her age is estimated at 20 to 30 years old. There are signs she suffered head trauma. But her name? Unknown. Case closed. File shelved. Then, in 1981, in the German city of Nuremberg, a woman's body was found on a construction site. Again, no ID. No one reports her missing. Forensic teams give her a number and move on. Over the next 4 decades, similar tragedies unfold in Belgium, Germany, the Netherlands, and beyond. Different countries, different years. Same pattern, unidentified women found dead. Take the case from Antwerp, Belgium, in June 1992. A woman between 20 and 50 was discovered in the canal near the Draakplaats Bridge. Despite facial reconstruction and dental profiling, her identity remains a mystery. She's now known only by a case number, BE_1992_Antwerp_001. In all, 22 women are currently the focus of Operation Identify Me. Most were found between 1976 and 2019. All are nameless, all forgotten. Before DNA databases and online records, identification relied on local knowledge. Police might compare the face of a deceased woman with a faded photo from a missing persons file, if that file even existed. In some cases, victims were discovered far from where they were last seen alive. In others, they were never reported missing at all. Families, due to fear, legal status, or stigma, may never have contacted police. The woman found near the A12 in the Netherlands, case NL_1990_Gelderland_001, was wrapped in a green bedspread. She had traces of amphetamines in her system and was likely killed elsewhere and moved. Her teeth showed signs of dental work uncommon in the region, possibly Eastern European. But with no digital tools, no language crossing protocols, and no global framework to connect these dots, her case, like many others, went cold. By the early 2000s, cold case units across Europe began revisiting files and seeing something unsettling. In multiple cases, the women were petite, dark-haired, and appeared to be of Eastern European or North African origin. Some had been sexually exploited. Others were suspected trafficking victims. Several bodies bore similar injuries or signs of abuse. In Germany, a young woman was found burned beyond recognition in a wooded area near Hamburg in 1997. Investigators believe she may have been alive during the fire. She's listed as DE_1997_Hamburg_001. Despite the horrific nature of her death, no missing persons report ever matched her. In another case, NL_2003_Limburg_001, a woman was found in the Juliana Canal, a Dutch canal, tied with a rope. Her body showed signs of having been submerged for days. She wore distinctive clothing not sold in the Netherlands. The data began to coalesce. These weren't isolated disappearances. Something larger was at play. Every cold case is a story left untold, but for families of the unidentified, the pain is unending. In some cases, mothers searched for daughters across borders, placing photos in local police stations, unaware that their child's body had already been found and buried as unknown. In others, entire communities of migrants or refugees, particularly in the 1990s and 2000s, had no means to engage with law enforcement, fearing deportation or retaliation. Interpol believes some of the 22 women in Operation Identify Me were trafficked into Western Europe and murdered far from where they were taken. Without names, these women were denied dignity in death, and their families denied justice. By 2020, with forensic science advancing rapidly, authorities realized they had one last powerful tool: the internet. In May 2023, Interpol, in partnership with Belgian, Dutch, and German police, launched Operation Identify Me, releasing facial reconstructions, photos of clothing, jewelry, tattoos, and detailed case summaries of 22 unidentified women. Each woman now has a profile online, some with hauntingly accurate digital reconstructions based on skull measurements and forensic artistry. Others have photos of personal items: a silver bracelet, a floral dress, a distinctive pair of boots. The idea is simple: someone, somewhere, may recognize them. Even decades later, a sister, friend, or former neighbor might see a face and remember. And one memory could solve a case. In May 2023, Interpol took an unprecedented step towards solving a deeply human mystery, identifying dozens of unknown women whose lives were tragically cut short across Europe. With the launch of Operation Identify Me, the international police organization, in collaboration with law enforcement agencies in Germany, Belgium, and the Netherlands, created a unified and urgent campaign aimed at giving these women back their names and their dignity. Operation Identify Me represents a watershed moment in international criminal investigations. For the first time, multiple European nations pooled resources to bring visibility to long unsolved cases, many of which had languished in silence for decades. These were not just cold cases, they were forgotten lives. The initiative gave them a voice once again. Interpol compiled a list of 22 cases involving unidentified deceased women. Each woman's profile was added to a dedicated public web portal featuring facial reconstructions, detailed case summaries, and photographs of personal belongings and clothing recovered from the scenes. The cases span from 1976 to 2019 and reveal haunting details that investigators hope will trigger memories or recognition among the public. Detective Inspector Annelies de Wolf of the Belgian Federal Police remarked in a joint press briefing, "We believe these women deserve to be identified. Each one of them was someone's daughter, possibly someone's mother or sister. By uniting our efforts, we increase our chances of finding those who remember them." Interpol Secretary General Jürgen Stock echoed this sentiment, saying, "Behind every case is a story, and behind every story is a family waiting for answers." This operation is about humanity as much as it is about justice. The collaboration was facilitated by Interpol's iFamiliar database, which enables law enforcement agencies worldwide to use DNA and familial matching technology across borders. For many of these cases, national-level investigations had previously reached dead ends due to jurisdictional limitations. Operation Identify Me tore down those walls. A key part of the operation is the digital reconstructions created in partnership with forensic artists and anthropologists. These images, often painstakingly crafted from skeletal remains, aim to recreate the faces of these women as they may have looked in life. The images were made public alongside physical descriptions, such as height, estimated age, and other distinguishing features like surgical implants, tattoos, or scars. In one particularly poignant case from the Netherlands, a woman estimated to be in her early 20s was found in 1992. Her remains bore evidence of years of malnutrition, but she wore an elegant black dress, a detail that still puzzles investigators. Her face was digitally reconstructed and widely shared, sparking a surge of tips from across Europe. Still, her identity remains elusive. To encourage engagement, Interpol built a public-facing website where anyone can review the cases. A special feature allows users to submit tips anonymously. This move has dramatically expanded the scope of the investigation, enabling members of the public, genealogists, and amateur sleuths to get involved. Marie-Claire Bouchard, an Interpol spokesperson, explained, "We received hundreds of submissions within the first few weeks. Some were memories triggered by clothing, others were old photographs that bore a striking resemblance to one of our reconstructions. Every piece of information is valuable." The growing field of genetic genealogy is now playing a pivotal role in the effort. Using DNA profiles extracted from the remains, specialists compare the samples against global databases to identify potential relatives. While not every country allows open access to such tools, the collaboration through Interpol allows more flexibility in navigating these legal frameworks. Dr. Eliza Meyer, a forensic geneticist involved with the Dutch police, emphasized, "We're already seeing promising leads thanks to DNA-based connections. It's a painstaking process, but it has immense potential. Even a second cousin match can unlock a family tree that leads us back to a name." The operation has also leveraged advanced digital forensics to analyze trace evidence found on clothing or bodies. Microscopic fibers, pollen particles, and even chemical residues are being re-examined using newer technologies to determine the locations these women may have traveled from. Highlighted cases drawing public interest. Among the 22 cases, several have drawn widespread attention. The Belgian case of the lady in the red sweater, 1992, found in a forest near Liege. This woman wore a distinctive hand-knit red sweater. Dozens of people have come forward claiming to recognize the pattern, believed to have originated in Eastern Europe. The woman with the anklet, Germany, 1998, discovered near a canal. This woman had a unique silver anklet engraved with what might be a nickname. Jewelry experts were consulted to trace its origin, leading to a possible connection with a small artisan shop in southern Italy. The Rotterdam cold case, 1976, the earliest case in the set, involves a woman found near the port, likely in her 30s. She had extensive dental work typical of American practices, prompting investigators to consider that she may have been a US citizen. Each clue offers a glimpse into a life once lived, and with every new tip, investigators feel Operation Identify Me is more than a criminal investigation. It is a moral endeavor. The effort combines the rigor of forensic science with the compassion of a public call to action. And while no positive identifications have yet been made public, law enforcement officials are confident that breakthroughs are coming. "The silence is being broken," said Detective Inspector De Wolf. "We know someone out there remembers. And now, we finally have the tools and the collective will to bring these women home." The campaign has reignited interest in decades-old files, brought international attention to the plight of the unidentified, and inspired a new generation of digital detectives. As Operation Identify Me continues to grow, it sends a powerful message: no one should be forgotten. With technology, cooperation, and the power of public memory, we may finally uncover the truth behind these silent tragedies, one name at a time. When Interpol launched Operation Identify Me, it was a call to action, not just to law enforcement, but to the world. What followed was extraordinary. Within days, thousands of people answered. Not just detectives or journalists, but ordinary people. Mothers, students, historians, retired police officers, true crime enthusiasts. People like you. Together, they lit a fire under cases that had grown cold for decades. From the moment the campaign went live in May 2023, the reaction was immediate and widespread. Interpol received over 1,250 tips within just a few months. Many came from individuals who believed they recognized a face, a tattoo, a piece of jewelry. Others offered personal theories based on years of independent research. Major news outlets picked up the story. Social media buzzed with hashtags like #IdentifyMe, #JusticeForJaneDoe, and #OperationIdentifyMe. Reddit threads, Facebook groups, and TikTok creators began sharing the victims' stories in hopes of reaching someone, anyone, who might know something. What began as a forensic effort quickly became a grassroots movement. True crime communities, often dismissed as mere hobbyists, stepped into the light as powerful allies. Their reach? Massive. Their dedication? Unmatched. One Dutch TikToker's video on the woman with the flower tattoo went viral, garnering over 2 million views in a week. Viewers flooded the comments with possible leads, theories, and even personal stories of missing loved ones. On Reddit, a user traced a unique piece of clothing from one victim to a now-defunct fashion brand based in Paris, an avenue investigators hadn't previously explored. These aren't just stories. They're turning points. In a few remarkable cases, it worked. She was known only as the woman with the flower tattoo. Found murdered in Antwerp in 1992. No ID. No one came forward. Until someone did. In November 2023, thanks to Interpol's campaign, a family member saw the image of that tattoo. A small, blue flower inked on her left forearm. A symbol of something once deeply personal. A clue no one had connected. Until now. That woman was identified as Rita Roberts, a British national who vanished more than 30 years ago. Her family had never stopped wondering. Never stopped hoping. They finally got an answer. Not the one they wanted, but an answer all the same. Rita's story opened the floodgates. Since then, dozens of families have reached out, convinced they might be looking at their daughter, their sister, their mother. One woman from Poland recognized the hairstyle and clothing of a victim found in Germany in the late 1980s. She believes it might be her aunt, who left home for work abroad and was never heard from again. A man from Italy sent a message after seeing a familiar pendant in a case file. His cousin had one just like it before she disappeared in 1991. Each message, each tip, is another thread. Some fray, others weave into new hope. Despite the progress, many obstacles still stand in the way. Cross-border bureaucracy slows the flow of information. Outdated databases and incompatible systems make matching DNA and case files across countries difficult. Some countries still lack the funding or staff to properly follow up on leads. And for many victims, there's still no DNA on file to compare against. Even when families come forward, proving identity without records, without photos, without living relatives, is agonizingly slow.